Hi everyone, it is officially the last day of March, which is absolutely crazy to think about. It's so wild to think that April's already going to be here tomorrow. The time just flies when I can't be with you every day and see all of you. I'm missing all of you like crazy. Please don't think that I'm forgetting about you. Please don't think that just because we're not in the classroom, I don't wish the best for you and see all of your hard work that you're putting in. I really, really do appreciate it, and I see it and I notice it, and thank you, thank you, thank you. I think about you all every single day, and I cannot wait until the day that we can finally see each other in person and not just through videos or video chats or Zoom or anything like that. So, our read aloud for today is kind of going off of your reading assignment. The reading assignment for today talked about the character's traits. And you can kind of figure out the character's traits based on the choices that the character chooses to make and how the story progresses based on those choices. So, the story that you read is about somebody who is on the swim team and they never give up, they keep trying, even though they might struggle in swimming a little bit. They are always, always, always looking to get better. They practice until they feel like it's perfect. And so we learned that their character traits are persistent, they're ambitious, they're determined, all of those words that mean that they never give up and they always keep on trying. And then your writing assignment that went along with that is, well, think about if the character had a different trait. Think about if the character was actually lazy. Well, the story would be completely different. The character wouldn't have gotten better at swimming. They probably would have just given up, and they probably would never swim again. And that would have been a completely different story. So it's really important to think about how the character's traits determine what happens in the story, determines how the conflict is resolved. So the story that I'm going to read to you today is called The Adventures of Beagle, the Unimaginary Friend. This is one of my favorite children's books because I had an imaginary friend when I was little, and it's just funny to think about what my imaginary friend did before I thought of it. So, Beagle's just a really cute story, and we learn a lot about Beagle's character traits based on his decisions throughout the story, what he chooses to do. So, as I'm reading, I'm really going to think about what character traits I'm noticing in Beagle. And then at the end of the story, I'm going to think about how the story would have changed if he had a different character trait. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the story. But first, as I'm reading, just think about what character traits do you notice in Beagle and what evidence tells you that Beagle has that character trait. If you're saying that Beagle is lazy, what evidence do you have to prove that Beagle's lazy? If Beagle is pessimistic, what evidence do you have of that? Okay, so this is The Adventures of Beagle, the Unimaginary Friend. He was born on an island far away where imaginary friends were created. Here they lived and played, each eagerly waiting to be imagined by a real child. Every night he stood under the stars, hoping for his turn to be picked by a child and given a special name. He waited for many nights. So now I'm learning one of his character traits is eager. He is very excited for this new adventure with a new kid. He's very excited to have that new experience, and he's waiting and waiting and waiting, and he's very eager. But his turn never came. His mind filled with thoughts of all the amazing things that were keeping his friend from imagining him. So rather than waiting, he did the unimaginable. He sailed through unknown waters and faced many scary things. But thinking about his friend gave him the courage to journey on. So that gives us evidence that Beagle is very courageous, he's very brave, and he's very determined. He's not giving up. Even though things might get a little scary and he doesn't exactly know what's going to happen, he's very determined to achieve his goal. So he's being very ambitious as well. until he reached the real world. The real world was a strange place. No kids were eating cake, no one stopped to hear the music, and everyone needed nap time. Then he finally saw something familiar, so he followed. He had a good feeling about this place, but he looked everywhere and he could not find his friend. He climbed to the top of a tree and looked out, wishing and hoping his friend would come. So now we're kind of seeing that he's optimistic. He has a bright outlook on life. Even though his adventures kind of lead him not to where his friend is, he still has that positive thought in his head of, okay, I will meet my friend, I will meet my friend. As long as I keep going on this journey, I'm going to meet them. So he's very optimistic at this point. But no one came. He thought about how far he'd come and how long he'd waited, and felt very sad. Then he heard a noise below. Hello. And he climbs down and gives her the piece of paper. Her face was friendly and familiar, and there was something about her that felt just right. At first, they weren't sure what to do. Neither of them had a friend before. But after a little while, they realized they were perfect together. Beagle and Alice had many new adventures. They shared their snacks, they told funny jokes. The world began to feel a little less strange. And together they did the unimaginable. The end. So as I said, Beagle is obviously very courageous, he's very optimistic, he's very eager throughout this entire story. He's always searching for his friend, and he never gives up hope, and he never stops trying to find his friend. But then my question is, well, what if Beagle had some different character traits? What if Beagle was cowardly, which is the antonym or the opposite of courageous? If he was cowardly, he never would have traveled to the real world, and he never would have met Alice. So that's a completely different story. What if Beagle wasn't very eager? What if he was just kind of, I don't really care? Well, if he didn't care, he never would have gone on that amazing adventure. He probably never would have even looked for his friend. So again, that changes the story completely. So it's really important to think about how a character's traits determine what happens in the story. Again, I love that book. It's just funny, like I said, to think about how I had an imaginary friend when I was little, and I like to think that they were kind of like Beagle, excited to meet me one day. So stick around for the math problem of the day. Once again, please don't think that just because we're not in the classroom together that I don't see all of your hard work. I do, and I love seeing it. And I promise, this is going to be over eventually, and everything will go back to normal. All we can do right now is stay safe and make good choices. The sooner we start doing that, the sooner we'll be able to see each other again soon. So please stay safe, stay happy, do what you need to do to maintain that kind of normal lifestyle. And the most important thing is your happiness. That's all I really care about, is that at the end of the day, you can look back and smile at what happened in your day. That's all I'm really worried about. I really want you all to be happy during this kind of crazy time. So once again, love you, miss you, and I can't wait to see you all soon. Welcome back. We are going over our math problem of the day today. And this math problem, you don't actually even have to solve it. The question is just asking you for which equation you would use to solve it. So it's not even really asking for an answer. It's kind of asking you for the path that will get you to that answer. So the question is saying Kylie bought 4 boxes of mystery books at a yard sale. If each box had 3 books, how many books did she buy? Which equation should be used to find the answer? So whenever I have a word problem that I don't really know how to solve at first, I love to draw a picture because at least then my brain is kind of understanding what is going on in the story, and then I can work backwards from there. So I put all 4 of the options, A, B, C, or D. So basically it's asking, are we going to use addition, multiplication, subtraction, or division? So to draw a picture of Kylie's yard sale adventure, it says that she bought 4 boxes of mystery books. So I'll just get 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes of mystery books. Each of those boxes represents the books that Kylie bought. Or the boxes, excuse me. Then it says in each box there were 3 books. So in this box there were 3, in this box there were 3, in this box there were 3, and in this box there were 3. Well, when I look at this, if I were going to solve this, to find the total, I would add all of these together. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. But I know when I have groups that each have the same number of something inside, that's either going to be multiplication or division because it's doing something repeated. We're either repeatedly adding or repeatedly subtracting. Because remember, when we hear that word equal groups, that means either multiplication or division. So I know my answer is either going to be B or D, either multiplication or division. So now let's see. I have 4 boxes, and each box has 3 inside it. If I was doing division, that would mean I already know the total, and I'm putting them into groups, or I'm separating them. But when we do multiplication, we are gathering all of that stuff together and finding the total. And that's what we're doing in this story problem. We're repeatedly adding all of these together 4 times. There's 4 boxes, and each box has 3 inside it. So our answer should have been B, 4 times 3. That is the expression that you would use to solve this problem. And if you were curious, the total number of books would have been 12. If you wanted to go one step ahead, be ambitious, and solve the actual equation, find the product. I hope that made some sense. I know it's been a while since we kind of talked about the differences between all 4 operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I'm hoping within the next few weeks we can kind of go through and have our brains figure out how to determine which one you're going to use. Just because that's a really important skill to know how to do, especially when you have multi-step word problems like we've had in the past few weeks. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said earlier, I truly, truly, truly do miss all of you so much. I think about you every day. Just know I'm always here. If you ever need anything, you can always email me. You can make me a video on Flipgrid. You can get in contact me in any way for any way that I can help you. That's what I'm here for. It's what I'm here to make sure that happens in your life. I want to make sure that you're okay. My job is to teach, but my job is also to make sure that you're happy, healthy, and comfortable and safe. So again, let me know. Thanks for watching. Love you, miss you, and I can't wait to see you all soon.